Mica Miller's disgraced husband, JP, was seen drinking shots and having dinner with another woman 4 days after his wife unalived herself. But many people think Mica was coerced by JP into taking her own life against her will. So I'm Joseph Morris. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Beautiful Mica, 30, whose husband pastored Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, was found unalived in Lumber River State Park on April 27th. Her passing came days after she had served John Paul Miller, 44, who's 14 years her senior, and also known as JP, with divorce papers with her October 2023 filings citing adultery. But her passing has left those closest to her in shock. Her family launching a Justice for Mica campaign in the days that followed, claiming that she was pushed to do this by JP's actions. Now, shocking new video shows a pastor laughing while on an apparent date with another woman. And this woman was identified as Suzie Skinner, 49. And this happened 4 days after Mica's passing. So let's watch the video. Yeah, and I can see JP in this footage laughing and having a good time with a new woman. And this footage is definitely a stark contrast to how JP portrayed himself as a grieving husband at Mica's memorial. So sources who saw JP with Suzie on May 1st said that he was laughing and drinking at a sushi restaurant in Myrtle Beach. They added, quote, "I've seen him there a couple of times, with Mica too. She used to really like that restaurant. I was surprised to see him there so soon after her passing. And with another woman too. It was like he didn't have a care in the world. He was kind of sloppy, drinking and laughing with the woman. They did a shot together before they left. He likes to drink martinis. It's well known around here that he's just not a nice guy, and I got a picture of him because I couldn't believe he was doing this so soon after her passing," end quote. And so when asked, Suzie Skinner, 49, denied that she was dating Pastor JP, adding that, quote, "He asked a couple of different people and I was the only one that could go. It wasn't a date. It wasn't anything," end quote. And I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't want to be going out with JP during this time. So what does that really say about her that she's the only one willing to? Suzie was highlighted on the Solid Rock website before it was removed, with JP conducting the funeral for Suzie's husband, Chris, 40, who passed in 2021. Yeah, this is really crazy because JP also did the marriage for his best friend who married Mica before he did. So does this guy like officiate stuff and use it as a dating app, like a way to meet people? Anyway, Suzie's husband's passing is also mysterious. So her husband, Chris, was paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair after being involved in an accident at age 20. It was a car accident where the other guy was doing a DUI kind of thing. So Chris was found drowned in a neighborhood pool, with authorities ruling his passing an accident. It is interesting, though, that both JP and Suzie's significant others' passings were, quote unquote, by authorities, self-induced, but still raise a lot of questions. And I think authorities kind of see it as self-induced and say, well, case closed and don't do any further investigation. So how did Suzie's paralyzed husband fall into a pool? Was he pushed? These are the questions that I have. And there are a lot of questions relating to Mica's passing as well. So Mica, in the months leading up to her passing, told authorities and family she was fearing for her life, and she suspected JP, and that if she ended up with a bullet in her head, it wasn't her, it was JP. Security camera footage in the moments leading up to her passing shows her repeatedly glancing over her shoulder as if she's being followed. Then while she's refilling a tank, a truck passed by her 3 times, with many people saying this person was following her. Weeks before, Mica made a police report that she was being followed by JP, and they actually found a tracker on her car, so this guy's tracking her. JP's first wife, Allison, also made a police report that JP was following her after she divorced him. So this is apparently a pattern with JP because he has 2 wives, or former wives, saying that he's a stalker. So Mica bought a pew-pew in the hours leading up to her passing, and some say this was in self-defense, not because she wanted to self-delete. And I'm sorry, guys, I can't use the proper words without punishment from YouTube, in case you're wondering. So after buying this item, Mica went to a gas station, and many people wonder why she would be filling up her tank if she had plans to do this to herself. There was also a sandwich in the car that wasn't eaten, looking like she was planning on eating it. She was also dressed in work clothes, ready for work, and made plans to see her girlfriends at church the next day. Her own father, Michael, also said that the marks on her body when she was found are consistent with being forced to hold her hand up and pull the trigger. So a fisherman also heard cries and a shot rang out. The property she was found at was attached to JP's lawyer's property and was accessible by his lawyer's property by boat. And the lawyer is a specialist in artificial intelligence. And some say the 911 call sounds like it's AI, that or she was forced to make the call. So some social media users suggest that JP installed a tracker on Mica's car, then saw her buy that item, the pew pew, and took it as an opportunity to get him and his lawyer to stage the scene. Like his lawyer just took a boat over to the river where she was found, and they both forced her to do this. I'm not saying that he did, but these coincidences are indeed strange. And there are a lot of shady things about JP too, including how he allegedly groomed Mica when she was 15. JP's first wife, Allison, said in her divorce filings that JP was having relations with girls not of age at his church. Mica also shared a video talking about how JP put his paws on her. Robeson County Sheriff's Office said JP was at a sporting event nearby with a woman, and the image they provided to prove that was a photograph of his truck with tinted windows where you can't even see inside who was in there. His own father, Reggie, poked holes in his son's alibi and said that his son was not with another woman. Then there is the fact that JP had rushed the cremation, not allowing for a full autopsy. Mica Miller's family attorney has spoken out and shared even more disturbing details about JP.
She claims that she was diagnosed with these mental illnesses and was on lithium. According to her, she didn't know she'd been diagnosed or what her medication was because he always controlled the medication. He administered the medication. In fact, he has admitted that he would cut her pills up and give them to her if she refused to take the medication. Lithium, he has been diagnosed and admits it in a sermon. And if you look up lithium and the side effects of it, or if you take too much of it or you're over-medicated, you go into delirium. And that's what her demeanor reminded me of.
And now Court TV is talking to the executive producer who interviewed Mica Miller's family attorney, and she offers more insight into what the interview said.
This interview, Ms. Ward talked about the possibility of a wrongful suit, but she also still said that there's a lot remaining, or to look forward to out of the investigation of Mica Miller's. The lithium in particular, she said she is waiting on the results of a toxicology analysis of Mica Miller's blood to see if she was under the influence of lithium at the time of her death, because according to Ms. Ward, she had stopped taking lithium. She was kind of moving out of from underneath the control of her husband, and she was not taking lithium. But when Ms. Ward looks at that video, the surveillance video we have of Mica Miller in the hours, minutes, before her death, going to a gas station, making a phone call to 911, reporting that she was going to kill herself, Ms. Ward says that is not the Mica Miller I knew, and she's making some pretty strong allegations that maybe her estranged husband got to her. And that's pretty stunning, those are pretty stunning allegations for being cleared by law enforcement.
So when contacting the FBI office in Columbia, South Carolina, they confirmed that it had been in contact with Robeson County Sheriff's Office, but could not give any further information. So justice for Mica, and I hope the investigation leads us somewhere. Please, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit my face here, and let's roll the outro.